if you want to boost the economy, have a debt jubilee when it comes to student loan debt, or convert the debt and make it low interest. Why? You're investing in the education of Americans. So President Trump just got done issuing an executive order about student loan debt, and that if your student loan debt is 270 days delinquent, that they're going to be garnishing wages. Why? Because they're going to be collecting on that debt. And some folks are upset about that. But if you really think about it, that's 9 months. What I will also say is this whole student loan debt conversation is really showing a generational divide, because on one hand, you have the baby boomers who are like, look, I had to pay my student loan debt. So why should, anybody else not have to pay their student loan debt? And then on the other hand, you have the Gen Zers who are like, I'm not going to college. I'm not going to school. I'm not going to get in all this debt. And then you have people like myself who are millennials who are like, yo, we went to school because our parents told us that the way that you get a high paying job is by going to college. Now, some of us didn't pick the best majors or the most high paying majors, but even folks who had good majors realized that they had to go back to school in order to even get a job. And so now there's all this student loan debt. Now, the thing about student loan debt, and shout out to President Biden for this, is that he made it such that even if you had student loan debt, they changed the calculation so that you would still be able to get a house. Because prior to that, people weren't buying houses, couldn't qualify for houses because they had student loan debt. Now, it seems as if President Trump is dropping the hammer about collecting on this student loan debt. And I've always said, let's take the student loan debt outside of these private debt servicers, take it out of Navient's hands, take it out of all these other people's hands, and let's convert that debt to treasury bonds. Now, student loan debt stands at $1.6 trillion. Mortgage loan debt stands at $12.6 trillion. So it's literally anywhere from 8 to 10 times larger. Let's say 10 times larger. It is 10 times larger than student loan debt. Yet, student loan debt discourages entrepreneurship. Why? Because you're trying to pay student loans, and therefore, guess what? You're not going to take as many risks, because here it is. I went to school, and yet I'm not reaping the benefits of this degree. There's no jobs out here for my particular degree, or people who have experience yet don't have degrees are getting the jobs, but all while the social contract, that's what we're talking about. The social contract was that education was the great equalizer. We're not seeing that. So if you want to boost the economy, have a debt jubilee when it comes to student loan debt, or convert the debt and make it low interest. Why? You're investing in the education of Americans. Point blank, period.